Welcome. Hope you like the new video setup. I quite like it with the fire in the background. Gets a bit of ambience, I guess. Ambience, if you want to sound intellectual or something. But this video, I just want to make I always say I just want to make a short video, but this shouldn't take long. And I want to just discuss why I think young men aren't as confident as they used to be. Now, there's the argument about testosterone, and then the argument about social media. So I'm kind of gonna go through each of those quickly. So I'll talk about testosterone first of all. Now, many studies have been done. I've read them. I'll need to see if I can find some links. If I do, I'll stick them into the description, about how like 100 years ago the testosterone levels of men were way higher, and that's because obviously men were going to war. It's less sort of comfort involved in life, because probably 100 years ago people were expected to work like 7 days a week, and then slowly they introduced the idea of having Sunday off for church and then weekends off to increase productivity and such things. The idea that the average man's testosterone nowadays, even if you just look at photos of 21-year-olds or 19-year-olds, whatever, back 100 years ago they look like grown men. They've got beards, they've got like a strong jawline, they're muscular, they're lean. But if you look at young men now, it's a lot more body fat, simply because of society and the way that food is viewed, and food tastes better, I guess, and all these things with TV and everything, which it does relate to the social media side, so I guess it's kind of all under the same umbrella, is the fact of the whole narrative of relaxing and comfort and taking it easy has become the more appealing option, whereas back in the day there wasn't really that option. The option was to work, because you had to provide for your family, and a lot of young men were getting married at my age, 21, marrying 18, 19, 20-year-old women. So there was that element of responsibility that isn't really there for young men. There's men my age and older that are still living at home with their parents, and it is okay in certain situations when you're actually working towards something and you're using that advantage to kind of progress yourself, so when you move out then you kind of get on your feet a wee bit quicker. But it's the fact that a lot of people that do still live with their parents don't do anything with that time, with the money that they're saving. They just end up going out and drinking instead of using that money to invest in themselves and become a better man, learn more things, create a business, invest into their job, their hobbies, their crafts, and try and make something of the time that they've got. And you have that greater sense of freedom when you're living at home. I remember getting my laundry done for me. I would only have to cook maybe once a day or something, maybe my lunch, but dinner was sorted. There's always food in the kitchen. I don't have to go food shopping. I mean, I'd sometimes pick up milk or whatnot when I'm on my way home from the gym or from training, but things are a lot more streamlined and you can kind of focus on yourself a wee bit more. So it's okay if you're using your time like that, but when you're kind of just taking it for granted and not doing anything with it, then I believe it becomes an issue, and that's when it starts affecting your confidence. And that does tie into the habits which I've spoken about before. When you've got poor habits, you're going to have a poor reputation with yourself, and therefore you're not going to be as confident. But I want to kind of go into the social media side of things, and that kind of includes porn as well, is the fact that men aren't interacting with other people as much as they would have, and women as well aren't interacting with people face to face as much as they would in the past, because it's so much easier to just send a message or go on FaceTime, and it kind of takes away people's social skills. You're not able to pick up on body language cues as you would have if you're interacting with people face to face. It's a lot easier to say negative things to other people without any real world repercussions, because you can just chat shit online and nothing happens about it. But if you're to say that exact same thing to someone's face, A, you either wouldn't have said it, or B, you might get punched in the face. So there's it's a wee bit different, and that's why I feel like young people struggle with confidence, and that's what made me struggle with confidence for so long. I'm naturally, I would say I'm a, introvert rather than extrovert, although it kind of depends on the situation and how well I know the people, but I feel like the more that I'm becoming confident, the more I feel extroverted in different situations. But I think I've also learned what situations in which I'm not supposed to be speaking, if you know what I mean. Like, there's always that sort of social hierarchy, or when you're at work, you can't really pipe up to your manager the same you would to your colleague and that sort of stuff. That kind of real life bullshit that you have to deal with, but you don't really get that on social media, which is a problem. You get people that have achieved nothing in their life and sit behind a computer all day that can chat shit to the most famous people and insult them and call them this and that and this, but they've like everyone has access to everyone in a certain way, which kind of takes away from those real life skills where you can be the most confident person online, but it doesn't really matter if you can't be confident in real life. I feel like that's what I want to try and teach as many people as I can. Of course, I've got a small audience at the moment, but that's why I want to increase my reach and increase my audience, so I can try and teach these lessons to a broader range of people, because I feel like it'll make society as a whole just better. And I target young men especially because, first of all, I am a young man, so I'm not going to sit and preach to young women where I haven't lived the same experiences and I don't understand that sort of realm of life as well as I understand the realm of being a young man. So if you want to actually progress in real life, you need to be able to be confident in real life. And real life isn't social media. Social media is just, it's to the side, it's something extra. But I feel like you have to become competent in real life such scenarios, and in order to do that, you need to become confident in those scenarios. And that, I think the one lesson that you'll be able to take away from this video is to just go out more often, go and speak to people more often. And it doesn't mean you necessarily need to go up to random people and just start conversations with them in public, because that's going to be a big sort of barrier that, let's be honest, I never started doing that until, I don't know, a few months ago. And even then, it's not, I don't just walk up to random people and start a conversation. Like, if somebody sits down next to me on the bus because it's busy, I'll maybe have a quick conversation with them. And I've actually got a cool story. There was one time I was on my way home from work, I think it was like a Wednesday or Sunday night or something, and some guy sits next to me and he's got some like half-eaten sandwich in his hand, so I just start asking him, oh, how was your sandwich? And that, and we talk for like, what, 10-15 minutes while we're on the bus, and literally as we're getting off the bus, he's like, oh, thanks for the chat, mate. And so, like, you know, people do actually appreciate having a wee bit of chit chat on the bus. Like, it's not, there's such almost hostility between everyone nowadays, which I feel it has been tarnished by social media. People don't want to speak to each other the same anymore. I think in general, I always kind of observe when I'm sitting on the bus, especially when I'm sitting on my own, and I see the people that are having conversation, and I see the people that aren't, such as myself a lot of the time. And the people that are in conversation with other human beings, they just look happier in that moment. And if you've not got the confidence to be having a chit chat with a stranger who sits next to you on the bus, then I feel like you're not going to be as happy as if you did have the confidence to speak to somebody if you wanted to. And it'll affect everything. Like, if you're not confident enough to go speak to your manager about a promotion, or about to an investor about investing in your business, or to a woman about investing in you, being like dating and stuff, then your life's not going to be as fruitful. Confidence helps so clearly with social interaction. I feel like I don't need to say that, but I'm saying it anyway. Social interaction will make you happier. We're social animals as human beings, and it's great to spend time when you're on your own, reflect on your own, craft your goals on your own, but you do need to have the skill and the confidence to speak to other people, because you will need other people in your life. You can't go your whole life without other people. You'll be extremely miserable. I feel like you need to figure out what your perfect balance is. Even if you're extremely introverted, you're still going to need to speak to other people, whether you're going to order some food at a restaurant, or you're even at the cashier at the shops or whatnot. I mean, the self-checkout thing, you don't really get to speak to anybody anymore, but sometimes I always just try and say a few words or drop a wee joke when there's like when I'm buying like alcohol or like an energy drink or something where they have to come and improve your ID and all that sort of stuff. You always have a little chit chat, because I think it's important to speak to other people. just about anything, like just having a conversation. And that's why I feel like confidence is such a big, like, epidemic, or is it epidemic, pandemic? I think epidemic's a slightly smaller one, but it's becoming a pandemic. The way people feel now when someone speaks to them, you get that sort of like anxiety I remember used to get when somebody would speak to me when I'm not expecting it. But now it's, if somebody speaks to me when I'm not expecting it, I reply, and I feel normal about it. It feels more flowing, and it feels like I'm living a more truly human life. I mean, that's about the amount I want to speak on that subject at the moment. That's all I really need to put in this video, I suppose. If you want a little bit of help about your confidence, I actually have a free guide that I created, so it kind of talks you through how you're to get into the confident mindset, how to think like a confident person. And I want to do a video as well that talks about what a confident person looks like, because if you're not confident, you might not actually know. You might have seen a couple people here and there that are confident, but I feel like it would be useful for people to have like something they can sit down and watch that explains what a confident person looks like, how they move through life. And that's what this free guide is about. It's an ebook that I wrote. I think it's about 14 pages or something. It's very short. You'll be able to read it in 10-20 minutes, and it just kind of goes through how confident people think and the kind of characteristics that they pick up. And I know this from speaking to other confident people and from becoming more confident myself. It's the principles that I've ingrained into my mind in order to become more confident. And because of that, I make more money now. I was really confident in my interview for my job, so I got a better job. I got more money. I've improved my relationships with men and with women. I've been seeing more women than I have in the past. At the moment, I'm just working, so it's, I mean, I don't want to say a distraction, but it is a distraction, so I'm keeping that to a minimum at the moment. I'm not going out socially as much, but I still get a lot of social interaction because of the nature of my job. I work in a hotel, so I'm constantly interacting with guests and the like, and colleagues, and with rugby I'm always seeing people there, so I'm still getting social interaction and I'm not worried about that at the moment. But my life is improved tenfold. I'm finally taking responsibility for everything and working towards something fulfilling and using every second of my day to do that. And I want to share that wisdom with people. And as time goes by, I'll continue to prove that these principles are right by becoming more successful and becoming more audacious with my goals and achieving more and progressing in life. So if you want to get that free confidence guide and try and get into that mindset of becoming more confident, I'll link it in the description below. All you need to do, enter your email address and press send me the guide, and it'll come to your inbox. So I hope you find value in that free guide, and I hope you find value in this video and have enjoyed the new ambient background, and I'll see you in the next video.